Oops. Okay, what I usually do is I give you the titles of the last 7 daily inspirations, and then I let you go ahead and choose one, and we can go from there. And here they are, the last 7. Okay. Okay, August 19th, changing the world a moment at a time. August 20th, reducing negativity in our lives. August 21, seeing the positive in the negative. August 22, experiencing the gift of the present moment. August 23, today, who we see is who we serve. August 24th, the illusionary nature of the unforgiving mind. And August 25th, wisdom involved the relinquishment of judgment. So, any of those work for you guys?
I like the present moment one.
Present moment. Okay, experiencing the gift of the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
August 22. All right. Okay, I'll go ahead and read it. It's 2 paragraphs long, and then we'll go from there. Experiencing the gift of the present moment. Paragraph 1. Imagine seeing the present moment as a gift. This gift is offering you the opportunity, pardon me, the opportunity for growth. What emotions would you feel if you had the clarity to see each moment as a gift from God to you? Imagine if the present moment is always here to help you rise to a higher level of consciousness. How would you feel if you understood and fully trusted that there is one, capital O, in your corner who always has your highest good in mind? One who fully loves and protects you and has promised that all will be all right. Today, let us practice trusting the divine design, trusting that the present moment is God's eternal gift to us. As we do, our propensity to become stressed out and worried will diminish. As our stress and worry diminishes, our peace of mind and appreciation will begin to take their place. Paragraph 2. Today, let us practice fully trusting in the divine design. When we do so, in the present moment, the state of peace results. Today, simply trust that perfect love always has your best interest in mind, and that because of this, all will be all right. If you are worried, do not put yourself down or others for this. Instead, allow your reaction to the moment to show you that you are not trusting the divine. Trust the divine or worry. These are the 2 choices you have in the now. Trust the divine and be at peace. Worry and feel stressed out and confused. Today, decide to fully trust the divine, and you will be at peace wherever you go. Being God's creation, the gift of peace is your inheritance. Today, at peace, allow gratitude to become your response to the present moment. When gratitude becomes your response to the now, your light shines bright, and you become the gift to this world that God created you to be. Okay, so the idea is to, if you're at peace in the present moment, if peace is what you're feeling in the present moment, that's because you're consciously or unconsciously trusting in a divine design. And each one of us has co-created their journeys with the divine, with God, with perfection, and thus our journeys are perfect for each and every one of us, no matter what the ego says about that. And so if your response to the present moment is one of peace, then you're aligned with the mind of God, with the divine design. If your reaction to the present moment is a lack of peace, then you're out of alignment with the divine design. You're believing in the ego's past programs that say that things should be another way. instead of just trusting in the divine design. And so now we can use the lack of peace not to punish ourselves or others, but instead to see, okay, wait a second. I'm lacking peace right now. That means that I'm not trusting in the divine design. But what is really happening is that the universe is giving us an opportunity to practice leaving the delusion and returning to the truth within us. And so there's no need to punish ourselves when we're out of alignment, when we're angry or resentful or jealous or hateful or depressed or whatever. If you're anything other than love and love's expressions, then you're out of alignment with who you truly are. And you're not doing what you were created to do, which is to be the light of the world. And so use these moments here when you're out of alignment, not to punish yourself, not to punish others, because that's what the ego wants. The ego wants you to punish them or yourself because things are not working out the way the ego will want it to work out. Or people are not thinking, saying, and doing what the ego wants them to think, say, and do. And so, okay, I'm here. I'm judging my brother or sister. That means I'm out of alignment. That's okay. Let me simply practice recognizing that. And the more that I practice recognizing when I'm out of alignment, the more I do this, keep doing this, going from out of alignment to alignment, out of alignment to alignment, out of alignment to alignment, the less time I spend out of alignment, and the more time I spend aligned with the love of God, with the state of peace. And so all your stuff that's unloving in nature, all your stresses and worries and doubts and fears, they are in reality just helping you practice realizing where you do not belong. And so the proper response to somebody who's sharing with you where you do not belong is gratitude. If you're going in the wrong direction and somebody tells, hey, you're going in the wrong direction. Oh, thank you. Thank you for helping me see that I'm going in the wrong direction. And so in reality, that's all your ego is doing. When you're believing in it, you're going in the wrong direction. And how do you know you're going in the wrong direction? Because you lack peace. Because you lack a sense of fulfillment. You lack a sense of purpose and mission. And so when that happens, know that you're just out of alignment and no problems. Just recognize it, come back into alignment, and be the love that God created you to be in that moment. And all you have to do is listen to the moment, listen to what expression of the moment it's requesting or those individuals are requesting, and then be that for them. Be a light at the end of the tunnel that God created you to be. And so that is the gift within the present moment. The present moment is, in essence, a present moment. It's a gift. Present. It's a gift from God to you. And when you realize that, what's your reaction? Peace, appreciation. Oh, thank you, God. I know that this moment is being created for my good, for me to grow, heal, and awaken in some way, shape, or form. And so thank you for this moment. And thank you for everybody who's a part of this moment. Because if it wasn't for them, maybe I wouldn't be triggered, or maybe I wouldn't be deciding to trust the divine design, or practicing letting go of the delusion and coming back to the truth within me. And so every person in your life in those moments is here in a way to help you realize who you truly are and who you do not want to who you no longer want to be. And so that is the gift within the now. Any comments or questions? I think you're muted. I don't hear your voice. No? Yeah, you're not muted, but I don't think you're muted, but I can't hear you. Oh, Samir, can you hear Mary? No, and Samir cannot hear you either. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but you don't appear muted, but I don't hear you. Maybe your volume is down. Sometimes that happens. You're not muted, but you don't know your volume is all the way down, and then you're like trying to reboot and stuff. And all that was your volume was all the way down.
Yeah, I can hear James, but I can't hear anybody else.
Can you hear Samir? Mike?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
I think I'm live now, James. This is Thomas.
Oh, hi, Thomas. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have a miracle of an ordinary day to share. Last Thursday at 5 o'clock, I got an email from my lawyer about my divorce court date being pushed back till November. And of course, that gave me some feelings, as in, how am I supposed to find somewhere to live, etc. And then I said, oh God, help me. So I was casually noodling with the computer and Googling where to live. Well, here comes this townhome in this development that my ego said was just the perfect place for me, where I thought they only sold these townhomes, and it turned out that this one was for rent. Most of them are for rent. I had no idea. And by 3 o'clock the next day, I had a new home.
Beautiful.
Help, thanks. Wow.
And that's the way the universe works. All you have to practice doing is asking. Just ask God for help, and help will come.
Well, it was unconscious, I think, because I didn't say no, stop being upset and frustrated, but I guess I must have short circuited my usual trajectory of the feelings.
Yeah, and it shows you can either when you trust the divine design, things work out for you.
Yeah.
When you think that you can't trust the divine design, the divine designer, then that's where frustration and fear and anxiousness and doubt come in.
Yeah.
So whenever, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say thank you for the platform and congratulations, Mary. Good for you.
Thank you.
Yes, and so it's a good idea to. Sorry, people coming in and out. Okay, so that's a beautiful example of how we can use how God always has our back. And so whenever you have doubt or anxiousness or fear or worry, okay, let's say that comes into the ego tries to pollute your mind with those thoughts. Okay, that's normal. That's what the ego does. Okay, just recognize that you can also choose peace instead of this, and you can achieve peace by deciding to put all these worries in God's hands, and you do your best, of course, and then allow what is to be. And when you start practicing putting all your doubts and worries, instead of diving into them and having your day become darker and darker and being ruled more and more by your anxiousness and fears and worries and doubts, you can do that, or you can practice trusting the divine designer. And so when those thoughts come in, simply use it as a practice exercise. Okay, do I want peace? Yes, of course, we all want peace. How do I get to peace? If my ego mind is focused on worry and anxiousness and doubt and fear, I stop sacrificing my time, focus, and energy on those delusions. And when I stop focusing my time and energy on them, they begin to dissolve away from my experience. But if I focus on them, they become a bigger part of my experience. And instead, if I use those experiences, those emotions to realize, wait a second, I have a choice. I can place this anxiousness and worry in God's hands. And by doing so, I can release them and let them go and just practice walking with hand in hand with God, with trust, with perfect love, knowing that each and every moment is designed for me to grow, heal, and awaken. And so thank you. I know that this situation, even though my ego's trying to make me anxious about it, everything is going to be okay. Why? Because everything's been okay in the past. It's only when we allow the ego to take over our minds that we suffer. Okay? So if you're suffering, it doesn't have anything really to do with the outer world. It has to do with how you are defining your outer experience. And that's a key. Because if you remember that you have control over your level of peace or pain, then you can make the better choice, the more loving choice, which is peace. And so, your level of peace or pain does not really have to do with the outer world. It has to do by how you define the outer world. And so the power resides within you, not out there. And that's good news, because if the power resides within you, if you unconsciously chose anxiety, you chose it. Nothing out there made you anxious. You defined something that as anxious producing. But guess what? You defined it. And so therefore you can redefine it and instead have peace. The power resides within, not out there. And so you hold the power over your level of peace or your level of pain. And so let us be grateful for that. Because if you know that you are responsible for your level of peace, then, what would your days look like? If you know, hey, I can have peace instead of this. You can be at peace wherever you go. And then that radiates from you. And the people who are stuck in the ego storm, they will come to you because they will see you as a shelter within the storm. And they'll say, hey, how can you have peace in this situation? How can you have peace when the elections are going to be in 2 months? I have peace because I trust source. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and vote, and I'm going to go ahead and vote my conscience. And whatever happens, hey, whatever happens, happens. Whatever, there's a level of let's call it happening. There's a level of happening that's above our pay grade. Okay, but we can have peace with that, knowing that perfect love is in control. And so if perfect love is in control, whatever's going to happen, it's going to help us. It's going to give us the opportunities to heal, to grow, to awaken, and to shine. And so what if we are at peace when everybody else is scared about the election and what's going to happen? Oh my God. Oh my God. How do you have so much peace? You know why? Because I chose peace. Because the choice for peace resides within me, not out there. And so that's a wonderful gift. It's called free will. And you can exercise free will anytime you so choose. It's one of God's many gifts to us. And it's a universal law, free will. And so you can choose to be anxious and worried about the election coming up, or you can choose to just be at peace. Vote your conscience, whatever that is, it's fine. You can vote your conscience, your brother and sister can vote their conscience, and if their conscience is different from yours, fine. No big deal. The world is not going to end. Don't listen to the fear-based individuals who are promoting that. God is not going to end the world. Yeah, there might be some bumps along the way, but there's bumps along every person's journeys. And once you remember that you have the power to define the world you see, then those bumps go from this to more like this. And little by little, they start going like this. And then you're at peace wherever you go. And you take because you take peace with you. And then people are going to be attracted to that, because they too know somewhere inside their heart and mind, they know that they too are worthy of peace. And so they'll be asking you, how do you do this? Come this way. It's all good. And you don't have to smoke anything. You don't have to take any, you don't have to take any pills. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You don't have to do any plant medicine. And it's all fine. You know, people have their own journeys. It's all perfectly fine. But you don't need that. You know, peace is available to you right now. No matter how complicated or challenging the ego says that your story is at the current time, or how dramatic, you're always just one choice away from peace. No matter how dramatic the ego makes the story, you're always one choice, one simple choice. You can say, I choose peace instead of this. I place my worries and anxiousness and stress and doubt and fear in God's hands. And I know that my journey is exactly as it's supposed to be. And I thank everybody who's in my journey, even those who trigger me, because all they're really doing is showing that I'm holding on to some belief within me that says that love is not the appropriate response to God's children and creations. And so if I'm holding on to some judgment about their sacred journey, that's my issue. That's not their issue. But they're showing me that I'm holding this within me. And if I'm holding this unbelief, this belief in some unloving thought about them, guess what? We're all one, right? And so whatever it is that I'm holding about them, I'm holding it within myself. So who's poisoning me?
Yourself.
I'm poisoning myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so thank you, brother or sister, for showing me that through my judgment, that I was poisoning myself. Now I forgive you. Now I let it go. And now I choose to trust that your journey is perfect for you, and that my journey is perfect for me. And I release that judgment, let it go. And that block that once blocked my light, the light that God created me to be, that block is removed. And now that light shines brighter and brighter. And it was all thanks to my reinterpretation of what the ego had taught me to, how the ego had taught me to see the situation. Anyway, I can go on, but let's ask some questions, shall we? Any questions or comments about being in the now and being at peace in the now?
I thought everything you said was right on, James. And again, really clear and digestible. And I'm actually in Mexico on my way to Colombia next week. I'll be in Colombia to begin working for a year there. And before coming to Mexico, I spent a week at a Theravada temple in Oregon where I lived. And you know, the monkey mind, they call it, is a lot to do with, you know, the course of our day. You know, we go in the past, we go in the future, worry in the past, worry in the future. So with what you're saying is about the present moment, one of the head monks was like, during the course of a day, try and catch yourself and stop yourself from that going forward in the future worry, in the past worry, and bring yourself back to that present moment, the peace, you know. So that's something I've been doing myself, is catching myself during the course of my day, like, oh man, what am I doing? I was just looking at that tree, and now I'm thinking about what happened 2 months ago. How the heck am I doing that? Let's get back to the present moment and the peace of this beautiful place I'm at. And yeah, so it's definitely a challenge, you know. You keep bringing yourself back to that present moment and the beauty of that moment, and you know, don't suffer about the past or the future, and just stay in the now.
Yes. And the now A Course in Miracles calls the now the holy instant.
Yeah.
And there's a useful way to let go of the past, and that is forgiveness. You forgive your brothers and sisters for whatever you think they did, and you forgive yourself for how you interpreted that you're now carrying with you. And thus, this is the present, this is the past, this is the future. But if you carry the past onto the present, you block the present moment, so you don't see what's really going on. And so what you want to do is release the past by forgiving it in yourself. Let it go. Let it go. And in the future, you place the future in God's hands. And so all your anxiousness, worries, doubts, and fears about the future, whenever those come, one simple response: place them in God's hands. Whenever the past, your past programming or judgments come in to try to block the present moment, you forgive it. You forgive everybody from the past. You forgive yourself, and you experience the now as it was meant for you to experience and enjoy. And so, yes, release the past by forgiving it, release the future by placing it in God's hands, and just practice coming back to the present moment. And the more you do so, the more you come from the past into the now, or from the future back into the now, the more you do this, the more natural and normal it will be for you to be in the now. And the more at peace you will be. And so don't punish yourself for having the thoughts from your past or from the future. Just recognize that this here is just helping you practice choosing the present moment, the holy instant.
Yeah.
And as with everything, the more you get to practice coming back to center, come back to center, the more natural and normal the center, the holy instant, the present moment becomes. And the more you see that, yeah, you know what? I enjoy it here. I enjoy it in the now, free from the past and future. And so, yes, it's a very good exercise to practice returning to the now. And if you do it 100 times a day, hey, you do it 100 times a day. And you got to practice 100 times. And that's great. And guess what? Next month, if you do it for 100 times a day for a month, next month you'll do it 90 times a day. And then 80 times a day in a couple months. And then in a few months, you'll do it 70 times a day. And then in a couple of years, you'll be like in the now, and you'll be, hey, I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah.
And so don't punish yourself for being out of alignment with the present moment. Just recognize that you're somewhere within your heart and mind where you do not belong. I don't belong in the past. The past is gone and can hurt me not. And the future is only ever in your imagination. Only the now forever exists. And there's only the now. The past is forever gone, and the future is forever imagined. There's only the now. The now is your true home here on earth. When you're in the now, you are where you belong. When you're in the past or future, you're lost. And you wonder why you feel unbalanced and afraid, and why you're holding on to judgments. It's because you're lost. But that's okay. Just come back to the now. Any comments or questions or any issues anybody's having about being in the now this week?
So, in Mary's example, when she felt concerned about where she was going to stay, that was her ego trying up, scaring her, and she used that opportunity to connect with, the divine, and the divine guided her or brought opportunities, either telling her or just popping it up. That's kind of
Yeah,
how.
your volume or whatever was a little bit off, so I couldn't quite hear it. It was something about Mary's issue.
Okay, so what can you hear? Is it this better
Yeah,
now?
yeah, much better.
So in Mary's example, when she got concerned about where she's going to stay, that was her ego, um, making her feel anxious, and then she used the opportunity to connect to the divine, and that divine produced the opportunity in the ad, or by telling her where to look for the ad, or like directing her, giving thoughts in her mind. That's kind of how it played out. That's what happened.
That's exactly what happened. The only reason Mary's mind went into worry or doubt was because of her past programming. Something in her past programming had her react in that fashion. But
Yeah.
then she recognized that she can make a better choice. That she can make a choice that would bring her back to the state of peace. And so she humbled herself, and she invited Source in. And she said, help. And that's all you have to do. All you have to do is ask for help. All you have to do is humble yourself, which the ego hates. The ego hates humility. But humility is the path to peace. And so you humble yourself, you step back, you invite God in. God, what would you have me think, say, and do right now? And think, say, and do only that. It's as simple as that. And she opened herself up to the universe helping her. And the universe is always helping. It's just that we blind ourselves from it through our anxiousness and past programming. But she let that go. She invited God in. She let God lead the way. And then she found her place. And it was all perfect. The amount of anxiousness and fear in the end was up to her. You choose how much anxiousness and fear you hold on to and you experience and you suffer with. You choose that. But
Can
there
you,
is always a better choice.
can you elaborate on this ego hates humility, please?
Yes, because the ego thinks it always knows what to do, and so it always has you say, no, don't ask God what to do. I know what to do. I can do it. And then when it doesn't go the ego's way, which is 99% of the time, the ego has you judge yourself for that. And then and the ego wants that because, okay, here we have a perfect all loving source, right? But the ego is trying to tell us that we're not part of that perfect all loving source, that we're not perfection itself. And how can it do that? By having us judge the situation, by having us worry and be anxious, because that person over there, he's not worried or anxious or fearful or doubtful. But if we are, then obviously we cannot be part of God. We must be part of the ego. And so that's how the ego tries to trick us into thinking that it and us are one. But God is love and God is all. So what's the opposite of all? Nothing. The ego itself is nothing. It's only a fairy tale that we were read to over and over and over and over and over again until we thought of it as a non-fiction story. And so all we have to remember is whatever the ego says, it's fiction. It's not real. It's not true. I don't have to be anxious here. I can walk in peace. It's my decision. And so, yeah, that's exactly what Samir, that's exactly what Mary did. She just invited the universe to help her out, and the universe helped her out.
Like that.
It's a beautiful thing when you're in that space.
I'm also opening myself in humility to understand that my imagination is insufficient to understand the infinitude of love, and um, that's humbling in itself.
Yes, I mean, we're never gonna, even when we're up there, so to speak, we're never going to really understand it. And so the full thing of it. And so our only job is, in each and every moment, to listen to what expression of love we can be, and then be that. That's our primary job for all of us. Doesn't matter if you're a financial advisor, if you're a nurse, a doctor, a police officer, it doesn't matter. That's a secondary job. Our primary job is always to listen to the now, to be silent. Listen to the now. What expression of love is my brother or sister requesting from me right now? And then let me be that for them. And as I do so, I allow God to flow through me. And then I become the gift to them that God created me to be. And because they're helping me share that gift, they're part of this process that's helping me recall who I truly am. And the more I recall who I truly am, the more natural and normal the state of peace and joy becomes. And so trust the big deal. And as we said in one of the last sentences, paragraph 2, today at peace, allow gratitude to become your response, pardon me, your response to the present moment. And so if for some reason gratitude is not your response to the now, then you're not really seeing what's going on. But if your response to the now is gratitude, instead of the ego's usual reply with that is judgment, then you're in the now. That's a way to show you that you're in the now. Oh, thank you, God. This is happening. Thank you. That's the appropriate response. And if it's not your response, if gratitude is not your response to the now, then you're just not seeing what's truly being offered to you in the now. And that's okay. Part of the growth process. And so don't punish yourself for that. Just practice recognizing that there is another way of seeing this moment. And so, any comments or questions?
So the ego hates to say, I don't know.
The ego hates to say, I don't know. Usually the ego, yeah, it does hate to say that. The ego always says that it does know. But if it's not leading you to peace of mind or joy in your heart, then it's not leading you to where you truly belong. And so, yeah, the ego hates that sense of, it thinks it's powerless because it says, I don't know. It will never say that. It always says, hey, do this, do that. And so, yeah. And so, yeah, just remember that every moment is here to lift you up to a higher level of consciousness. And so, whatever is happening, no matter what the ego says about it, is happening for our good, to help us grow, heal, and awaken. And so, when you recognize that, peace results. Any other comments or questions? Anybody not at peace about anything in their lives right now? Or have we all? Go ahead.
James, the Course in Miracles Zoom call, when does that go on?
It's Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Okay.
Yes. It's 1 hour. It's a lovely, I usually take a lesson from the course and expound on it. And yeah, it's roughly the same type of material.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I'll be traveling on Wednesday, but yeah, maybe the following week.
And I also, since I do record them, if you go to my YouTube site, they're always there.
Perfect.
The next day, all the classes are there. So
thank you.
yes. Thank you. So how did you find us?
I stumbled upon your YouTube channel, and then I got on to just finding out through those links about this, and yeah, I've been watching a few of your videos, and I really it really hits home. It's really digestible and very I have the audiobook A Course in Miracles. In fact, I read Gabrielle Bernstein's book, The Universe Has Your Back, and she spoke about that. She actually quotes that numerous times throughout her book. So then I got enlightened to that, and it's actually very interesting that you're onto it. So very cool.
Yeah, I found the course in Europe in 1990,
Oh, wow.
and I was 1 year after college. I was in Europe, is traveling around, and I was in south of France. And on weekends, I would go see some friends in Paris, and I would stay at my uncle's place in Paris, and and a friend of his was having like a second honeymoon, and he was staying there. And one night, I went out with him and his wife to dinner, and the way he spoke was just so non-judgmental and so wise that I said to myself, I don't know what this guy is reading or what this guy is doing, but I wanna be that.
Yeah.
And then he told me about some book called Course in Miracles, and I'm like, okay, Course in Miracles. And then I just put it in my mind. And then I went back to Miami, came back here to Miami, and he lives here in Miami. And I was going from Miami to Venezuela to work, go to work, and to live there and go to work. And so I went to his apartment, and he had a big blue book on his sofa with the gold letters. And from afar, I thought it was the Bible, right? Because and then so he went to the kitchen, and I went to the couch. I ran to the couch. I look at the title, and it's A Course in Miracles. And I go, okay, A Course in Miracles. Okay, this is the book he was talking about. So I went from his place to the bookstore, got the Course in Miracles, and then went to the airport. And then I took A Course in Miracles to Venezuela with me.
Wow.
And since the first page that I opened in the Course in Miracles, I fell in love with it. It's like I everything in the course you already know because it's already inside of you.
Yeah.
And hopefully anything that I write in my book or books coming up, uh, when you read it, you'll see that it's true and you'll know that it's true because it's already inside of you. There's nothing that I ever say that's new to you. All truth already resides within us all. So if I say something and it touches you, that's not because it's new information to you. It's because you're remembering that it's true. And so that's why my book is called You Have Chosen to Remember,
Mm-hmm.
because there's nothing new in it. Everything that I say is something you already know. And when you read it, you'll remember that it's truly so. And so that's why I came to Course in Miracles, and on and off for the last 33 years or so, I've loved it, whenever I'm into it. And I go to a class on Sundays here in Miami, in Unity Church, and it's a good time, lovely time, because you have a whole bunch of different people with different timelines in the course. It's a very useful practice to be in a group set, and I'm sure in Colombia they have groups. I'm not sure in Venezuela they have groups. It's for Spanish.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mi aprendo español. So
Yeah. Yeah. Are you gonna live in Colombia?
yeah, I'm actually there for a year outside of Medellin. So I'll be there for at least 1 year.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So do you have the Course in Miracles book with you?
I don't have the physical copy, but I do have the audio book in my Audible account, and actually I think it's maybe time I revisit it, or I can just buy a physical copy. That'd probably be good too, to reference it, continually reference it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would recommend getting a physical copy and taking it with you. That's
Good.
exactly what I did. I took a
Cool.
physical copy to Venezuela, and at
Yeah.
nighttime, after I finished work, I would just sit on my couch and just read.
Killer.
Uh,
Killer.
yeah, yeah. It's a mind opening experience, and yeah, you'll be definitely touched by it, and it'll definitely help you along the way.
Thank you again for this platform. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for coming by. Okay, so we have still like 10 or so minutes.
Could we talk a little bit about how to set boundaries in relationships and with people, where even though we have love and compassion for them, we still want to protect ourselves as to how they treat us. So how and how to do it in a way without having the ego taking control of the process.
Yeah, you just practice setting self-loving boundaries. So if something in the relationship is not bringing you peace, and you believe in your heart that you need to set some sort of boundary, if you do it from a place of peace, if you set the boundary from a place of peace and love, then that's not only going to help you, but it's going to also help those around you, including your partner, because you're doing it from a place of love. You're not doing it from a place of separation or anger or resentment. You don't want to set boundaries from that energy. You want to set boundaries from a place of love and compassion, and from a place of wanting to awaken and heal and grow. And so if you set it's where you set the boundaries from. If you set it from the heart, from love, you set self-loving boundaries that you're at peace with, then that's lovely. And so that's what you want to do. You want to set those boundaries from a place of love.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hello, Wendy. The iPhone is Wendy.
Sorry. Yeah, it's me. Hi. Sorry. I was working all day and then I just lost track of time because I just started work again after the summer. So my schedule's a little messy. So I just lost track of time. And Alexa didn't remind me to come online. So I'm a little late. Sorry, everyone.
It's all right. We were doing the August 22nd daily inspirational message, which is experiencing the gift of the present moment.
That's a good one.
Yes, it is a good one. Yes.
Are you a teacher?
I'm a college professor. Yes. How did you know?
My daughter is a high school teacher, and she went back to work today.
Oh, that's how you knew.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. I was like, she can't see me. I don't look teacherly anyway, even if she could. I was trying to figure out how you would know that.
We have a lot of psychics in this group.
Well, that would fall in line, though, wouldn't it? When you allow source into your life, you are led to into it.
Yeah, and that's what you want to practice doing each and every day. It's bringing source in and just humbling yourself. When you humble yourself, you humble the ego. The ego doesn't like that, but that's okay. And just invite God in and ask God, or Jesus, or the Holy Spirit, or Buddha, or whoever you believe in. That self-actualize. God, what would you have me think? What would you have me say? And what would you have me do right now? And I only want to do, say, and think what you would have me think, say, and do. That's all I want. In each moment, in each interaction, I don't even care about you being James. I just want source to flow through me in each and every moment, and offer that expression of love to my brothers and sisters, those that God is entrusting me with. Because each and every person that God sends your way, that's God's child. And so imagine you having children. You're not going to trust your children to just anybody. So you're only going to send your children to people that you trust. And so whenever somebody comes into your life, no matter what the person is, or who he or she is, that remember, that's God's child. And God is entrusting you with them. So pay special attention to how you treat God's children. No matter what they think, say, or do to you. Love them. Love them in the best way that you can. And that's how you have peace. That's how you have a clear conscience. That's how you go to sleep calmly at night. That's how you don't toss and turn. And use the emotion of forgiveness. Practice forgiveness and compassion being your constant companions throughout the day. If the ego starts to whisper, hey, I didn't like what that person thought or said, practice, hey, you know what? I'm traveling right now with forgiveness in one hand and compassion in the other. So I forgive what that person said. Why? Because I don't want to have to carry those burdens of my judgments. I don't want to have to keep on putting more rocks of judgment in my backpack. I want to go ahead and place that down. I do it through the act of forgiveness. Place down your burdens, and you will be set free. You will be at peace wherever you go.
James, you know how you said if somebody's not at peace, do they have an issue? In the 3 minutes you have left to help me? Okay, but it's really not, because I don't expect you to solve the problem. I just expect you to help me know how to put it correctly into my mind so that it's not assaulting me. So I think my ego's messing with me right now because I have no relationship conflicts. Everything is peaceful with all my people. And I'm back at work and I love all my students. And so I'm always happy. So my mind has decided to harass me in another way, which is this, financial. I'm okay. Nothing's going to happen to me right now, but I'm essentially screwed for my retirement because of one stupid mistake I made when I started my job, which I won't go into the details, but let's just say I chose the 401k instead of the pension plan. So big mistake, huge mistake. And I have 10 years. I don't want to work till I'm 70 as much as I love my students. I don't want to teach the way I teach, which is 8 classes sometimes, because I take the overloads. So how can I just, I started telling myself, just trust in God. Everything's going to be fine. You're never going to starve. Your family would not let you be on the streets. You'll always have enough money to just get by, even if you can't live a big life. What is the correct thing at this point I want to quiet my brain down. I just want to quiet it down. And that's what it's doing to me a lot. So go ahead. I'm ready.
Well, you started off by, remember, asking me about which stocks you should buy.
I followed your advice. I don't think that's going to take me to retirement, but go ahead.
Well,
I didn't have that much money to invest, James.
It's all right. It's all right. Just practice whenever that anxiousness or fear comes into your mind. Just practice remembering that God has your back, and always, you're making the right financial decisions right now for yourself, and so just trust that all is going to be okay. And of course, yeah, whenever you have a little extra money, put it in places where it's more. It produces more than a CD, because you're just losing. Because inflation it's. Don't believe the governmental numbers. Let's just put it that way. Inflation is a lot higher than the government says it. 2%, 3%. It's every year it's about 14, 15%. That's the true average. And so that's why in the last 50 years, unfortunately, the American middle class has declined and almost is dying.
Okay, now you're just scaring me more. This is not helpful.
Well, what I was saying is to make sure that your investments grow more than 10, 15%. And the only way to do that really is to get into some of the high-tech largest companies in the world that they will always do well. Yes, they'll be up and downs, but in the end, they always do well. So, the Googles, the Microsofts, the Teslas of the world, the big companies. And that's where you place your money. And if you want, you can buy some Bitcoin. That's always helpful because there's a limited amount of that. So as the government's gonna print more and more money, and the inflation for the government is always going to be like 14, 15%. But the Bitcoin inflation is always like 1%. So that will help you keep your money more than the US dollar. And so you have a property. So a property is always good. So, you're not going to be without a house. And so everything's going to be okay. There's no point in supporting your anxiousness and fears and doubts and worries, because what's that going to do for you?
Nothing. My brain's just doing it to me. I was wondering if there was a part in the book. The only one that I know by heart is the one that I use on the airplane, which is I rest in God. But I was wondering if there was one that was more applicable to this, like something that says, you have everything you need, or you'll always be taken care of, or I don't know, whatever you tell me.
Any time that anxiousness, worry, fear, doubt try to poison your mind, okay? Stop placing your time, your focus, and your energy into those energies and emotions. And give those moments over to God. And say, God, I trust you with my future. I'm doing everything I can. I'll do everything I can, and then I'll just trust you with the future.
Oh,
So you just practice when those thoughts come. Don't dive deeper into them, because it's only going to become a bigger part of your day. Instead, offer them to source. Practice using those moments to trust God more.
I know that. And I was just telling Kira that in person in the meeting last week about her stress about something. But why do I forget it is the ego doing that to me, or is it just my horrible memory? Why in those moments does my mind just blank out like I don't know what to do?
It's just your past programming. We all have decades of the ego's past programming of supporting anxiousness, supporting fear, supporting doubt, supporting guilt and shame and anger and resentment and hate.
Yeah, that's
So,
what it is.
and so what you're doing is you're deprogramming yourself from the ego's mindset. Each and every time you decide to trust God instead of your worries and fears and doubts. And so, yes, it's going to take a little time. Don't punish yourself when you forget. The Course in Miracles says forgetting is a way to remember better. And so all those things are doing is helping you practice remembering better, that you can indeed trust God, and therefore you can indeed have peace.
See, whenever I come here, I always get that good nugget of wisdom I came for. Thank you, James. Saint James.
Thank you, Holy Spirit. All right, any final comments or questions before we close?
So maybe if Wendy did the same as Mary and she connected, not just she would get wisdom about her investment, but she could maybe, God may produce some opportunities where she could make more money. I don't know, being a consultant or some other way, a gig might show up in her life that she never imagined, because God creates that opportunity simply because she connected. That's also something that can happen.
Yeah. You can, Wendy can choose to invite the universe in and say, universe, I wouldn't mind having another 30 or 40 grand in my account. If you can help me find that, I appreciate it. So you can do that, invite the universe in, and maybe something will come up.
Okay.
And, why not?
It's worth a try.
It's worth a try.
Yep.
It works pretty good.
In regards to I'm not, I'm not a financial advisor, but artificial intelligence is a huge deal, and companies that are delving into that and they're adopting their way in the market on that, I would suggest maybe researching some heavy hitters in the AI playground and see who's really leading the way there, because it's not going anywhere. And I think that's probably a wise move if you're gonna maybe back a company and put your money down somewhere. That would be a good play.
Yeah.
Thank you. That sounds like James already recommended this a while ago, so that's why he said the stock stuff.
Yeah. And the three biggest AI companies that I'm aware of, one is Amazon, two is Microsoft, and three is Tesla. Those
Yep.
are the three biggest AI companies that I know of. And so if you're in those companies, you'll do perfectly fine in the future, because yes, AI is here, and it's in most everything we do and see. already.
Oh, our whole at my college, our whole theme this year is AI and teaching students how to use it ethically. The entire thing. And in fact, they got us Microsoft Copilot, access to Microsoft Copilot through our college. And you can tell it. I did. Make me an AI policy that explains to the students that it is unethical for them to use it for the actual writing of the draft, but they may use it for the planning process. And it in 30 seconds spit out a whole thing talking about the ethics or whatever that I could put directly into my syllabus. It'll make rubrics. The scary thing is I can say to it, write me a poem in the style of Mary Oliver about, I don't know, a windswept meadow, and it will give me an entire poem. It's not publishable, but it's pretty scary that it'll do it in 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's insane. It's insane. But yeah, so whenever you have a little money, invest in Amazon, Microsoft, and Tesla, and you'll be fine.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear you say that, James, because otherwise I'm moving in with you. Just joking. You'll have a full-time disciple. Just kidding.
All right. Well, thank you very much, people. A lovely
Thank you,
talk,
everyone.
always.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
And God willing,
Thank you.
other next Monday or maybe even Wednesday, or some of you Tuesday.
Thank you, new
Every-
people I didn't get a chance to meet. I appreciate you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
have a wonderful week, everyone.
All right.
Have a great week.
Thank you.